Yesterday I did a video about how you can't part-time the spiritual war. Part-time. You can't part-time the spiritual war. And later that day, when I came home, I tried to do one of those frivolous breaks from it in a vain attempt to not so much escape it, but just to fucking, I don't know, play a game. So I'm playing this game, mobile game called Darkness and Divinity. I saw the title of it, and I was like, oh wow, that looks something, sounds like my life, you know? So it's early access. I don't know if it's like wide release or whatever, but I'm playing some early access version of the game. So I've been playing it on and off for a couple weeks, and I'm sitting at the load-in screen, and I noticed something on the load-in screen. You take a look here. Yes, there are pedo symbols on it, of course, you know, these everywhere, but it's the thing in the middle that caught my eye. You see that? Like that body that's like, it looks like the three casters around it are trying to like pull something out of it. Well, that is this. And what is this? This is this. So what is this thing? I don't know. But the first time it showed up anywhere was in one of the evidence photos for Jeffrey Dahmer. It was one of his victims that was, for whatever reason, in this weird pose. And that pose, that photo right there, is one of his victims. Now, why he would do this, like leave him like that? Well, he didn't do anything, because the whole thing is a work. All of these serial killers are fucking works. And one of the main reasons they do these guys is so that they can put them on mainstream news, and at 6 o'clock when the family's having a dinner together, or when they used to, back before they destroyed the family, they could talk about all kinds of degenerate gay shit, fucking cannibalism and all this other stuff, right there in your living room. So that's the first time that I saw that thing. Then we noticed, someone noticed that Tony Podesta, who's John Podesta's brother, Skippy, think you're hot shit, don't you? Has a hot dog stand in Hawaii. His brother has a statue of that thing. Okay? Now apparently it was made by a French sculptor, Louise, I don't know, I don't remember her last, I can't say her last name. So we're just going to call her Frenchie McFuckface. So this Frenchie McFuckface here is some kind of dark arts, maybe witch, weirdo, evil person. And you see here she has this crown on. This is a crown you see among caught on camera demons. Here's one in the US Senate. For a bunch of people, for a bunch of demons wearing the same crown, Roger and KC, he points out these strange figures all the time, and a lot of them are wearing this Jughead crown, which she has on in this photo here. Now this woman may not even really be a sculptor. She just may be a character that they are saying is the sculptor. Her most famous sculpture is this fucking spider thing that she made when she was in her 80s. You know, you can just see her climbing the fucking step ladder, putting the paper mache on there, whatever the fuck that monstrous thing is made out of. A lot of her sculptures and art, air quotes, is like this. So she made this statue thing of that dude off the evidence picture. Oh, that was the idea, is she based it on that evidence picture. But my thinking, my instinct on that was the statue existed first. and they had that picture of him in the evidence posed like that to copy that pose, that form. And then seeing it in the game, I started thinking, this must be something. It must be some kind of power symbol of some kind. Because like when I was explaining the how games, and I think a lot of apps, are spells. Like when I started Diablo Immortal, I was showing on the loading screen numbers flash up, and they're like 33.3 and 666, because what's going on is it's preparing a spell. The spell is the game, the app. It's there to suck your energy and your attention and your fucking will to live as you give it over to this game that occupies your mind. So much like that, this must be a component of the spell that's being prepared. In the same way, like I always say a witch has, like, she's making a potion, she needs an ear of newt, a bat wing, whatever. This symbol of this guy like that is some kind of spell component to the spell, which is this game, Darkness and Divinity. And these kind of little weird esoteric symbols and numbers are always in the loading screens of these games, because the spell's being prepared. You know, when you're opening up this app, it's like, you know, loading, and then they say, okay, grab the ear of newt, grab the bat wing, because they're creating that spell that's then going to suck you into it and hold your attention. So I think this image of this guy, or this symbol, is probably something much older. And I haven't really gone searching for it, but I bet I'll be able to find it again somewhere. And probably something much older. Now what kind of power it has, who knows? It's probably just like some kind of symbol they use, just in the same way they use words and certain numbers to prepare a spell. Yeah, every time you open one of these apps, even ones that aren't games, you're willfully entering a contract by clicking on that. And what that does is that allows them to then take your attention and your energy and just suck that out of you, because that's what these things do to us. They just totally drain our energy. You know, I know a lot of us use it for good purposes too. You can use their own tech for good too, you know, in spite of what it is, but it's still their stuff. And at any time they can rug pull, because they control electricity. Satan, Lucifer fell in a bolt of lightning. The lightning is, and the energy, electromagnetic energy, is a way that they travel. With the proliferation of electric power in the last century and a half or 2 centuries, demonic activity just increased 100-fold. How do you think they're getting around? You know, that it wasn't like this. You know, back when you were homesteading on like a, you know, little house in the prairie type house, you had no electricity coming out there. You know, occasionally you'd find a witch and then you'd rightfully burn her. But the thing is, nowadays there's so much electricity here, they move around on it. Or at least that's what I think, or that's what I've kind of been putting together. But I just thought this was interesting, that guy in that pose. And if anybody else has seen that or knows what it is, you know, let me know. My head is like, if you've ever seen those, like the meme of the dude with the thumbtacks and the string connecting one thing to another. That's my brain all the time. So when I see one thing, I just I reference one of my other pins. I'm like, hey, wait a minute, that's connected to this, or the puzzle analogy, whichever one works. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting and wanted to talk a little bit about that. I'll probably be back later with something more compelling. But actually, I think this is pretty fucking compelling. But you know, always shoot for the stars. You might hit a moon. Don't blame the teacher. Blame the school.